Now it is human nature that the first shocking thing will shock you to your bones. Yeah. But the second shocking thing, less so. And the third one, even less so. So that after some time, you become immune to shocks. Now, I believe this is what is happening in our dear old country called Kenya. We have come a long way since the very controversial 2017 presidential elections. And in this time, so many things have happened, very shocking things, that Kenyans are almost shock-proof at the moment. And this is why it may be easy to ignore some of the extreme measures being taken by politicians from Team Kieleweke and Team Tanga, which I'm going to discuss in this video. For instance, people actually planning to heckle the President of the Republic of Kenya. But we shall come back to that in a minute. First of all, let's head straight to Nanyuki, where news has come that has just, I don't even know what word to use. It has just left Kenyans speechless and indeed angry. I am of course talking about the case of Major Peter Mugure. Mke ama mke wake wa zamani na watoto walimtembelea, na muda sio mrefu wakapotea, na muda sio mrefu mili yao ikapatikana. Now a few hours ago, Major Mugure appeared in court alongside a casual laborer at the Laikipia Air Base, a man called Collins Pamba, whom it is believed was an accomplice. They were both remanded for 21 days as police complete investigations. However, the courtroom was packed, and the crowd was visibly angry. Now, in my view, and I know many of you may not agree with me, in my view, we have imported a lot of Western culture into our country. And this culture has found its way into our laws, into the laid down laws of the land. And these laws have very good intentions. Of course, if you have children, you must support them. That's a very good intention. But in my view, they have not been thought through. Because where these ideas came from, these countries are rich. People can get a job very easily. In these countries, for instance, manual laborers are paid very well. Now you bring these laws to Kenya, a country where very many people are jobless, and the few who have jobs really, really treasure the income. And so you copy-paste these laws here, and that casual laborer who earns 5 miserable shillings a day will need to split that 500. 250 remains with him, and 250 goes to the wife he has divorced and his children for their upkeep. You split the salary of somebody working in the security forces. They don't earn much, but you split it, and half goes to his divorced wife. And the circumstances of that divorce are not taken into account by the court. Of course they can't, they're not part of the law. And so let us take a hypothetical situation. This divorce came about because maybe the wife was unfaithful. Now in our African culture, we have a very different way of dealing with wives who go outside the marriage. But since you're following copy-pasted laws, what happens is that the mind or the brain of a man snaps, and it does something totally horrifying. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not defending anybody. All I'm doing is painting a scenario based on what I know about Kenyan men and their behavior. So what happens in the end is that a law which had very good intentions, and must be there because people must take care of the children. Even God Almighty wants you and needs you to take care of the precious children you bring into this world. But in the scenario I've just painted, this good thing ends up being a strong motive, for a very horrible act by a sane man, a murder, or even several murders. That African man sits in his house with half his income, half his salary, and thinks of the other man, who is enjoying some of his money with his estranged wife. Folks, nobody, and I mean nobody, can side with a man who takes away the precious lives, of his former wife and his own biological children. Or those children, even if they don't belong to him biologically, but lived under his roof and he once took care of them. Nobody can defend any such man. However, in my view, we may need to borrow a leaf from our neighbors, Rwanda. Rwanda is a tiny landlocked East African country that is rapidly emerging as the Singapore of Africa. And it is not by magic or by good luck. One of the things Rwanda has been very good at is coming up with homegrown solutions even to legal problems. For instance, the genocide. Rwanda came up with homegrown village courts, to deal with the genocide perpetrators, and keep the society together. Our problem as a country is that there are very many of us Kenyans who envisage Kenya becoming another United States of America, which is okay, if you're talking about development, etc., etc. However, our culture is very different. Africa is a very different place. But the huge advantage we have is that we have brilliant people, who can easily look at what happens elsewhere, and adapt it, with the changes, homegrown changes, to what is happening elsewhere, that will be able to work for us. I believe also, in this latest case, there's a lesson for women to take away. A very valuable lesson. And it is this: be super careful, with that man who was once a loving husband, or a loving boyfriend. Accept the fact that you may not know him very well, even if you lived with him for a number of years. You may not be fully aware of his dark side. And when you walk away and please keep your distance and protect yourself, and please protect your precious children. And always remember that affairs of the heart, they are extremely complex. And the soaps you love, especially the Mexican soaps, those are not real life. You cannot play around, with the hearts of men. Just like that. And catwalk from one scene to another. You can't. And to my fellow African men, I know you will not take my advice seriously, but still I'll give it. A woman is not your fellow man. A woman is a delicate flower. Treat her as such. Love her, be understanding, and when things go wrong and you can't love her anymore, always put your children first. Sacrifice your emotions and your feelings for the sake of your children. And do everything in your power to make sure that your children have as normal an upbringing as possible in the circumstances. Because even if you do not love your own children, even if you do not love children, one day you will have to answer to Almighty God for their lives, for the impact you had on their lives, what you did and what you did not do in their lives. I think that's all I have to say about that very dreary affair. Now back to politics. Recently, somebody said on this channel in the comments area, Chris, get out of this obsession about Kibra. The Kibra by-elections are over. Move on. Talk about something else. What? I'm sorry, but I'm a political analyst. And in politics, at least in political analysis, you follow the news. Now, as we predicted early on this channel, in fact very early on, the Kibra by-elections has had a far-reaching impact on our politics. It featured in the meeting at Sagana between the president and Mount Kenya leaders. The deputy president, William Samoei Ruto, has been tweeting non-stop about those elections. Politicians at virtually every political rally, at every press conference, are referring to those by-elections. And with good reason. And I'll come to that in a minute. And so, my question to this honorable commentator is, how do I ignore the Kibra by-election and pretend they're not there when politicians are just talking about nothing else? How do I do that? And even more importantly, how do I accurately analyze politics? When even what is happening right now and what is set to happen in the next few weeks and months, all started or is at least linked to the Kibra by-elections. How? Now, for anybody to fully understand why politicians cannot stop talking about these by-elections, you will need to know the crazy things that happened behind the scenes of this particular election. Indeed, as I've said in my latest weekly intelligence briefings, the results of these elections were decided by two major things that happened behind the scenes during actually polling day. But even more important, what these elections have done is to escalate dramatically the current ongoing battle between Team Kieleweke and Team Tanga, or shall I say between the BBI versus the rest. But even more significant is the fact that tactics by both sides of the political divide have changed very dramatically. For instance, we have seen the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya launch an all-out attack using Twitter on Raila Odinga. We have seen the President change his tactics when dealing with the Mount Kenya leaders. Rather than reading them the riot act, as was the case before, the President is persuading Mount Kenya leaders while remaining firm in his stand on certain issues. It is important to note that when people change tactics, it's after something has happened. In most cases, somebody does not just change tactics out of the blue. In fact, sometimes people change their tactics after a very traumatic event, something that really impacts on them. And this is precisely the case with our current situation in Kenyan politics. But what I find very scary, and I believe most Kenyans or every Kenyan should find scary, are the extremes some of the political players are now going to. In my humble view, a sustained attack on Twitter against Raila Odinga by the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya is an extreme. The office of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya is fully financed by the Kenyan taxpayer. It boasts of some of the best brains in Kenya and from outside Kenya. Bottom line, there are very many ways in which that office can deal with burning issues, or burning issues according to the office, like violence during elections. But tweets on Twitter, That is bizarre. Okay, to be fair to the Deputy President, there are also some extreme things that were done to Team Tanga during the Kibra by-election. And this is probably a reaction. This latest move, which I find bizarre, is reactive to what has happened recently. And the truth is, some of those things will make your eyes pop out. And they've not been reported anywhere in any media in Kenya. And they'll make your eyes pop out. No kidding. And they'll make your ears ring when you hear about them. Eti nini kumekucha? Wacha zako. No. What? Hapana. This could not have happened. No. Oh yes. That is the reaction I guarantee. And of course, unfortunately, these things are extremely sensitive. And I'm very serious. Some of them border on being criminal. And therefore we can't discuss them on an open public channel like this one. But fortunately, you can get your hands on all this information. And it's very easy, especially now. Because to get hold of weekly intelligence briefings number 23, you can take full advantage of our special offer, which is winding up just now. If you send a blank email to the email address you see on your screens right now, and in the automatic response you get, instantly, if you see the offer is not there, then you'll be too late. But if you see the offer is still there, and I believe you'll see the offer is still there in the next few hours, then you'll have made it, and you can take full advantage of it. Now, this is the amazing offer where you get a lifetime membership to both weekly intelligence briefings and Club 1999. You pay just once and then that's it. You'll never need to worry again about renewing your subscription. So take action now. Anyway, back to what we're discussing. Times have really changed in Kenya. Because never before in our history, you'll need to correct me, older members of this channel, never before in our history have I ever heard of even a rumor, let alone confirmed information, that people were actually planning to heckle the President of the Republic of Kenya. Now, what I remember is that in President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi's last presidential campaign, he was actually jeered and heckled by his own people in parts of the Rift Valley. That one I can remember. However, there was nowhere where people read or heard a rumor that people were actually planning to do that to him. I think it was spontaneous. But here we are in 2019, where we're hearing that some people may have planned to heckle the president. Now, of course, that is in Weekly Intelligence Briefings number 23. Make sure you catch it. That is a really hot one. I can tell you that. The truth is, the president is in a very precarious position. Constitutionally, he cannot vie for office again. And so, the very powerful and effective unifying factor of somebody remaining in office is no longer there in the Mount Kenya region. And this thing called goodwill does not work very well in politics. And to a lesser extent, Raila Odinga is in a similar position, or almost similar position, because the unifying factor in ODM and most of the country is Raila Odinga vying for the presidency in 2022. And there's increasing doubt amongst Kenyans that he may not vie. I don't want to look like I'm talking too much about the WIBs, the weekly intelligence briefings, but I discussed that at length in the previous WIB, number 22, which was released some time back. But my friends, that is the political reality. I understand politics is a very emotional thing. People tend to get very emotionally invested in politics. And as a result of this, it is very easy to ignore the political reality. It is very easy to force yourself to ignore the political reality, staring you in the face. Or to put it more bluntly, it is very easy to refuse, to see the truth, even when it is staring right at you in the face. Anyway, until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.